My next claim is, unless you're a billionaire, a religious fundamentalist, or a xenophobic nationalist, voting for Trump was a mistake.
That's like saying unless you are an immigrant, trans activist, LGBTQ person, immigrant, single mother, poor, voting for Biden was a mistake.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so I would like to touch on the religious fundamentalist aspect.
Yeah.
Are you an atheist?
I'm a Reformed Jew. I don't have a strong belief in the existence of God, but I don't think that religion in and of itself is bad.
You don't believe in a God, but you're not an atheist. But you follow a religion that does believe in a God, but you cut a few things. And I guess you adapt certain modern way of thinking. It's like you're saying that you are a fireman, but you don't like to help with fires. You prefer to just help people get down from buildings. But you want to be called a fireman.
Okay, so what's wrong with religious fundamentalists? So like when you said trans rights and women's rights or something like that?
Well, the problem I have with religious fundamentalists, and really more, I guess it's really theocrats,
Okay.
is that they want to impose their morality that comes from their religion on the rest of us. And I don't.
But morality from your view is going to be a preference, right? It's not morality, it's a preference. So morality without a foundation is going to reduce you to a preference.
Well, I have a foundation for my morality.
Which is what?
It's a humanist vision of what basically creates as little suffering as possible for as many people.
Okay, so you're like a consequentialist? Utilitarian?
That's one thing we agree on.
A consequentialist is someone who believes that morality of an action is determined by its consequence. In other words, an action is right or wrong based on the result it produces, rather than the inherent qualities of the action itself. I don't know that I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So you can do whatever you want.
Burn them all!
But as long as the result... No. Okay, I'm learning new words.
I don't really bother myself with being a consequentialist or a utilitarian.
It's always going to reduce you to a preference. So if you say that killing is wrong and I say it's right, you would really have no contention with that.
Well, no, I don't base my understanding of civil society on religion.
He wants as little suffering possible, no matter the consequence. I would not be surprised that he supported BLM riots, even though it might be destroying more the poor neighborhood that might need more cops, which they're trying to defund at the same time.
And so we have a civil society. Okay. We have laws that we have decided as a society in a democratic way. And for some people, it's okay for it to be informed by their religion. That's okay.
Okay, perfect. So if tomorrow society comes together and we say, hey, trans folks don't deserve rights, you would be okay with that?
No, I would be against it, but I mean it would be
morally right under your
not
view.
Morally right. No. I'm not talking about morals. It's a humanist vision of what basically creates as little suffering as possible for as many people.
So officially, you're doing exactly what you think the Bible is doing. You just don't use the Bible, but you use Jew. Without a God. Mengadelo, remember to subscribe.
¿Por qué?
Okay, so here's where I'm getting to, right? Religious...
No, I'm not talking about morals
Okay,
here.
so here's where I'm getting to, right? Religious foundations provide an ethical framework for one to live their life off of.
I believe you can have an ethical framework without religion.
And if we take the leftist view to its logical tail end, to its extreme view, you have low reproductive birth rates, you have a reproductive dead end, so two men together can't reproduce unless they have to take from a healthy straight couple. Religion provides this foundation where you do prioritize the nuclear family.
So do you have a problem with gay people being married?
It's not that I have a problem, I just don't see a justification for why they ought to be gay outside of it just feels good. Can you give me another justification for it?
Well, I think maybe that's the way they were born.
Okay, what about pedophiles? Are they born that way?
They may be, yeah.
Okay, so should we let a pedophile off the hook since they were born that way?
No, I think we as a society has decided...
Should implement duties to prevent them from acting on that innate urge, correct?
Well, I think between consenting adults, it's a different thing than...
Okay, so you're okay with a
children.
45-year-old dad with a 19-year-old daughter as well? Incest?
No.
If they consent, you're okay with that?
No, I think society has also determined that it's like it's not beneficial.
Right, there's duties and obligations that we have, so religion provides those duties. Life isn't about freedom and exercising what you want.
I mean, well, you want to impose your religious doctrine on me, and I don't want that.
You just admitted we need duties. We have responsibility as a society to keep us functioning, to keep us thriving. Your leftist view, the liberal view, doesn't provide anything besides it just makes me feel good. Religion does. So what's your argument?
Look at me. I'm a very bad example for a Christian. How? Well, I met my wife in a disco. I smoked weed, I drank, and I had funky. There's no way my church is going to tell me, hey everybody, look at him. Go at the disco.
Ready to party.
You might find an atheist that randomly will start believing in God because you have good consequence in her life. No, I'm not going to promote this at the church. We're like, hey kids, if you're lucky or God blesses you and you're strong in the faith.
That's because Jesus Christ is my God.
I mean, with all honesty, the amount of time left-leaning people have told me you only live once.
What's my argument as to why I don't want
you have no
your
contention.
religion to... Well, because first of all, I don't think that you have the right to corner what God is telling us is right or wrong. And there are differences between religions. And so my argument is, you know, like, you're not going to keep halal or kosher, right? I mean...
Most religions don't even focus on fun. It's mostly about managing suffering and getting something more beautiful out of that suffering, because we suffer way more on this planet than have fun.
I don't believe that someone has a corner on religious truth. And the reason why we have a democracy is because we didn't want a king. And the kings came from the idea that their God said that they're the ones who's supposed to be king.
You make it sound like people that didn't believe in a God did a way better job. I mean, communism did a way better job, right?
You freaking freaks! When will you learn?
And so we can disagree on this. I don't want to live in a country that is ruled by religious fundamentalism.
And if I do, you have no issue with that.
And no. And this is why I say, under Trump, yes, you have won.
Yes.
You have a
Only
bunch
male
of Christian.
and female. You're right.
You have a Christian
won.
nationalist,
Yes,
and
which is necessary.
And so I concede the point that under Trump, your Christian nationalism has gained an advantage under this.
Sorry, we're going to have more kids. We're going to have less abortions. We're going to have more family. We're going to have stable family households. Sorry about better education.
People, gay people should be outlawed.
They should be straight.
First of all, gay people should not be outlawed. I don't think a law will be passed to outlaw them. But at the same time, he shouldn't be saying that. They should be straight. They shouldn't be straight. No way. It's not going to work like that. From what I've seen in my personal life, some people just want to have fun, and some people just want to have a more chill life. And sometimes they either stay gay or they stay straight, even if they dabble in both ponds. Loneliness clears a lot of people's minds sometimes.
They should be straight.
Women should be secondary to their husbands.
Women should submit to the husbands. That doesn't mean they are slaves.
Right,
it doesn't mean they are servants. It means they are protected. Okay, let me ask you then. Let me ask you.
No.
Should women be drafted? Should women be drafted?
Listen, I think...
If they're equal, should they be drafted?
I think this is the vision that you have, and I think Trump supports it.
Yes.
I think the Christian nationalists he has throughout his government are all going to work towards your vision.
Yes.
And my hope is that when people look at this, they say, hey, wait a second. I don't want my life to be dictated by the notion of a Christian nationalist prescription.
You can tell somebody I gave you a choice, but when you made a specific choice, I might cancel your bank account, close your account, social media, but hey, you had the choice.
You didn't make good choices. You had good choices.
We never forced you. We just took something away because you made a different choice.
Arresting me for what? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America.
Now, you may win out. I mean, certainly, like, if you look at a country like Iran, they have a theocracy there, and that apparently that's, good for them if they want it.
My final point is whenever
but
we
I
see,
don't want to live in a
My final point is
theocracy.
whenever we see people live out Christian values to its full extent, we see a great society. When we see people deviate from that, that's where all the problems arise.
All right,
I
pause.
think you are at home in the Trump. Trump.
I watched the Sam Seder Jubilee episode, and if young Latino men are disindoctrinated into Christian nationalism, we are in big trouble. I am disgusted. And you're surprised? I think left-leaning people have no idea how much the Latin people believe in God. Abolish religion. You've been saying that for a very long time, and now they want to abolish you. This has been going on for decades, and those of us drawing attention to it are exhausted. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people are exhausted. I totally agree. But then again, they could never find the middle ground with you because you went so far left.
I'm blind!
That even going just a little back was seen as the wrong move. So you didn't give people any option until they start realizing, yo, there's way more people that think like me. That's why America is so red. Even California almost voted red. You know why? Because you went to left.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Durloketa berdetta welcome.